Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play series of Arthenex Plays Crusader Kings 2. I've been thinking about doing a Let's Play series of this game for a while now, and the recent Steam sale, afforded me the opportunity to go back and pick up all of the expansions I was missing for a fraction of the normal price, which is awesome, thank you Paradox. And now I'm ready to do one. Before I get started, I want to make a couple comments about this game as compared to European Universalis 4, because I know many of you who have been watching my channel have seen me play EU4, and I thought I would just give you a couple of thoughts about this. I've played this game, ever since it came out. I enjoy it a lot. I don't enjoy it as much as EU4. I think that for two reasons. I think the basic mechanics are simpler than EU4. In fact, if you've never played a Paradox game and you're thinking about trying them out, CK2 is probably a better game because the mechanics I think they're easier to learn than in EU4. There's a couple of odd kind of conceits that you have to live with when you play CK2, but for the most part, the mechanics are easier, the combat is easier, and it's just a overall simpler game, which would make it easier to dominate, except for the other reason I don't like it as much, and that is that your success and failure in CK2 is largely dependent on factors that are very much outside of your control. Things like how many male children do you have and do your children have, and what happens to do they randomly, when you marry them off, do they marry people who are completely infertile? Do they wind up getting sent to, made spymasters and getting sent to foreign lands and imprisoned? I don't know. Anyway, it's very random, which does have the benefit of making it unpredictable, which is hopefully, from an entertainment standpoint, could be fun, but it does make it frustrating to play at times. But I digress. I'm going to use the ruler designer here, just so I can put my name in the game, because that's fun. And I've decided to play as this guy, originally Count Edwin. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that province name because it's Welsh, and that means that many of the consonants have different sounds than they do in English. So yeah, no idea how. I'm going to call it. I'm just going to take the first three letters. So we're going to shorten it to the Count of Per. And somebody who watches it, who knows how to speak Welsh, can maybe tell me how it's supposed to be pronounced in the future. But for now, I'm going to call it the Count of Per. And we are going to, our goals for the series, first of all, we want to become the King of Wales. After that, perhaps the King of England or Ireland. And eventually, I want to be Emperor of the British Isles. I think the empire in the game is called Albion, but we might change that name to something else. And then we'll just see how it goes. Of course, this being CK2, I could also randomly die 50 years in and not have an heir. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So I was just going to leave his first name the same, but I can't. He can't have the same name as the guy I'm replacing. So we're going to call him Arthur. Arthenex. A little bit, perhaps more alliteration than I like, but hey, I mean, who doesn't like the mythical King Arthur in 1066? Which brings me to the time period. I had not played this game at all since the Viking and Charlemagne expansions come out. I did mess around with them for a little bit, and I do quite like those start dates, but I just cannot abide the constant raiding in the Viking era. It's so frustrating. You can't accelerate the game without your provinces just getting totally looted, and you're constantly having to raise troops and send them to defend against raids that are meaningless in the grand scheme of things. They're just really annoying. Anyway, so we're going to skip that. We're going to start in 1066, which is the traditional start date of CK2, and we'll just see how it goes. So, as you can see, I made my coat of arms here. I got a red dragon on a blue field. I like dragons, so yeah. This is what my guy's going to look like, and just a quick rundown of his stats. I didn't want him to be too old. The ruler designer is a bit gamey. I gave him the genius trait because why not? And in order to pay for that, I had to take Stressed and Wounded. Wounded should go away relatively quickly. It's kind of a gamey way to get yourself some extra points in the Ruler Designer because it usually goes away within 6 months. Stressed is a little bit less good because sometimes it never goes away, sometimes it takes a really long time to go away, and sometimes it goes away quickly. But nevertheless, I decided to take it. And Ugly, which is annoying but shouldn't have too much of an impact in the game. I made him a Gray Eminence because I think diplomacy is the most important stat for rulers in this game. Different people may disagree. I could see a strong argument to be made for both martial and intrigue, but I'm going to go with diplomacy. It also gives him a fertility boost to help counteract the fertility penalty he's getting from Stressed. Ambitious because it's a cheap way to get a lot of extra points. Trusting because I like diplomacy. I think diplomacy is more important than intrigue, especially in the early game to help fabricate claims. I think it helps you fabricate claims. I don't know that it does. I'm not as familiar with the mechanics of CK2 as I am with the U4, but I know it's your diplomat that fabricates claims, so I figure diplomacy might improve your chances. And arbitrary just to get some extra points, and because as a starting off ruler, I don't think stewardship is going to be that meaningful, despite the fact that I increased it slightly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish this. And we are going to start the game. So I'm probably going to wind up speeding past a lot of the first years because there's not really much you can do in this game until you fabricate a claim. As you can see, we're starting off as the vassal in the kingdom of... I don't know. I'm afraid to say that name. I'm just going to call it Palace for now. And our first goal is going to kind of be to become a duke. There's a couple of different ways that we can do that. Let's see. Does he have that title? Yeah, he has the title. So we could try and take this from him and usurp the title. Or... it's going to depend on how many claims we can fabricate. But I think I'm going to start by fabricating a claim on this. So, before I do that, I got to pull up my council here. We already have a court chaplain. We got... So this was the original... Kind of interesting. When you create a new dynasty with the ruler designer, you kind of become the ruler, but all of the old members of the dynasty are still in your court, so you can use them. So we got another Welsh Grey Eminence here, who I think is the son of the original ruler in the system, and he is friggin' amazing. Look at him. And we also got an Elusive Shadow. So we got and a Brilliant Strategist. Although he's not one, he's just a random guy. So we got some really awesome people here in our court, which is a lucky break. So we're going to go ahead and assign them to our council in the appropriate spots. So this is, you go there. My steward. We don't have an amazing steward, but we got a decent one. And my Elusive Shadow Spymaster. Okay, so now that I have my council, I have to give them all jobs. So, for most of this is one of the ways in which CK2 is simple. For most of the council positions, there's one job that's just way better than the other ones. For example, the counselor, you're going to be fabricating claims pretty much all the time. Since he has a really high Diplo score, his chance of successfully fabricating a claim is quite high. And we're going to start by fabricating a claim on the province of our liege here. And then our marshal, there's two things you can do with him. You can research military tech, or you can train troops. And you want to do this if you think you're going to go to war. We're probably not going to go to war anytime soon. On the other hand, this is not... hopefully not going to be our capital province for very long. So researching military tech here is also kind of pointless. It's also a little bit risky. as you can see, and it costs money, and the military drill accident can maim or kill your marshal. And since this guy's really good, I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just have him train troops for now. I'm also going to make it so the Chancellor is forbidden and the Spymaster are forbidden from leading armies, since they're both really good. Did I? Wow, he's an elusive shadow, but he only has 11. Oh, this is new. I can order him to take the vows. Yeah, he only has 11. His base stats must be pretty terrible. Base 4, elusive shadow plus 9. Oh, he's trusting. Yeah. Oh well. So back to assigning jobs. This steward, you should pretty much always be collecting taxes, especially in the early game, in my opinion, anyway. The Spymaster, later in the game, we're going to want him to scheme. He's actually not an amazing Spymaster after all, because to uncover plots. In the early game, it's unlikely anybody's going to be plotting against us, so we'll go ahead and have him study technology. Unlike the other one, this just gives you technology points, which I'm actually going to save until I get a more permanent capital. So we'll send him to Constantinople to study technology. And our court chaplain, see our best court chaplain, looks like he's is. If you have any provinces that aren't your religion, you obviously want to do this. We won't for a really long time, probably. Which means this is good if you need something from the Pope, which, since the Pope can grant you claims, and we don't really care about cultural tech, I'm going to go ahead and have him improve religious relations with the Pope, because we might be able to get a claim out of him. Let's take a quick look at our liege traits. Our liege is lustful, so he's not likely to have a lot of piety, although he is kind, which gives him, so doesn't give him any church opinion. So if he has really low piety, we might be able to convince, even if we can't fabricate a claim, we might be able to convince the Pope to give us a claim on his land. What about this guy? He's gluttonous, which is main is church opinion, envious, but he has no piety reducing traits, so he's probably, what really helpful is if you get a cynical ruler. That oftentimes you can get the Pope to give you a claim on their lands, but it doesn't look like we got any of those among the people that we're interested in. All right, so we've set up our council. Oh yeah, so we need to do a couple things with our character now before we start the game. We have to choose an ambition. And I'm thinking we're going to choose to become exalted among men. It's a diplomacy. We could also become a paragon of virtue. Normally I take zealous as a starting trait. I didn't this time, because I don't really care about accumulating a massive amount of piety. If you take zealous or chaste or humble or another trait that gives you piety, then paragon of virtue is quite nice. Especially for the papal opinion, and the learning is okay. But I think we're just going to take exalted among men. We should be able to do that relatively easily. And then we got to choose a focus. So the most common ones are family for the huge fertility boost, war, carousing. Family also gives you a diplomacy boost, and a health boost, which makes it just a really solid choice. So even though we're not going to get married for several years, well, we might change it to family when we get married. In the meantime, maybe I'll do hunting for the health boost and a little bit of extra martial. Or I could do carousing. Quite likely to get drunkard, though, if I choose carousing, which I don't really want. Um, let's just do hunting for a little while. We can switch to family later when, let's see, 1071, 5 years. Yeah, when we actually get married. Which brings us to getting married. So you obviously want to marry people for claims. At the start of the game, I like to marry, because I played this before, I like to marry Cecilia Normandy. She's currently 9. She'll oftentimes wind up with a weak claim on the Kingdom of England. And the Kingdom of England is in a lot of turmoil early in 1066, so sometimes you can use that to your advantage. So if I want to arrange a betrothal between Cecilia and myself, then because he starts off as a duke, he's a little bit more likely to agree. So we will go ahead and arrange that betrothal. And if a better opportunity comes along before she comes of age, we can always break the betrothal. You don't get any penalties for that. All right, and I think we are ready to, yep, let's go ahead and unpause. And we're going to kick it. All right, so we changed to Petty Kingdom of Gwyn. Not surprising. Ooh. Gain 1 gold. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to kick it all the way up to speed 4 because it's unlikely that anything meaningful is going to happen in the early part of the game. We're basically so this is going to be diplomacy +1 and health. Yeah, of course I'll take a hunting dog. Let's call it Faithful, Hunter, and Tricky. Sure, whatever. Call it Faithful. Alright, so as I was saying, it's unlikely that anything fairly significant is going to happen. You would like to make me Chancellor, sure. That is fine. That'll help me get a little bit more prestige. Really, yeah. Alright. Okay, my dog grew up. I'm no longer ill. So we're just going to burn through this. Eventually, hopefully the wounded trait will go away as well. Might take a couple of years though. So yeah, we're just going to kind of keep an eye on this. We can keep an eye on the County of Gwyn. So here's the request. Oh, so we need 100 piety to do that, which we will eventually get, but we not for a while. Yeah, so we're basically just going to sit around waiting and hoping our Chancellor does a good job fabricating claims. And in the meantime, we can keep an eye on what's going on in the Norman invasion here. And it looks like Duke William's about to win. Yeah. Looks like he's going to win before Duke Harold of Norway can. And there it is. So William the Conqueror has once again conquered England. Now the interesting part is, can he hold it? Yeah, so now he has to fight off the Norwegians. losing. Ooh. So he may not become... the French Revolt. So we might get a Norwegian King of England. That would be interesting. I haven't seen that before. Unless he can turn this around very quickly. Let's see. My liege is down here fighting in Spain. And look at that. Norway won. Well, that's going to mean a betrothal to his daughter. Is not going to be as useful. So let's take a look here. What is this? This is... So Duke Harold of Essex is imprisoned by Duke William. Duke William is imprisoned... It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top here. So how old is... I'm going to keep my betrothal for now. I got 3 more years before I have to decide whether to marry her or not. I'm not sure if this is good for our long-term prospects or bad that the Norwegians won this war. That doesn't happen quite as often. Go back up to speed 4, because we're not going to do anything about it either way. Yeah, okay, so he lost. So, I think... Yeah, so this is elective. And the Kingdom of England is also now elective. Oh, nice. We got some tech points. So your daughters are all married, so there's no point in even trying to get a marital relations with you. The question is, are you going to be able to keep that? It's possible, but it seems unlikely. Finally. So the problem is if we want our child to get an heir on get a claim on the Kingdom of England. If we marry somebody who just has a claim, who's not the actual king, then they will get a claim when their parent dies, but their child will not, unless I try and make them queen. So in order to get a claim on England, I have to marry the heir. So We may abandon that idea and try and get a claim on, like, the Kingdom of Scotland instead, although he just has boys, which is useless for our purposes. Alright, so we got another revolt. A large merchant caravan from distant lands has arrived at the gates of your stronghold. Their leader, a jovial man of massive girth, pleads with you in a strange accent to grant them shelter. Sure. So what happened here? Did he die? No. How did you become king? You are the old king's son. I didn't. Maybe he did a plot and they demanded the Kingdom of England, and the King of Norway let him have it. Well, you have a daughter, so maybe I'll wait and see if I can marry your daughter. So I'm going to go ahead and break the betrothal. And you will let me marry your daughter. Okay, I'm gonna be in my late 30s when I actually get around to marrying her, but that's still probably okay. Assuming you stay King of England. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Sure, I can always use another diplomat. Interesting, though. These are part of the Kingdom of Wales, and they are now part of Norway. Oh, because I have arbitrary, I can just kill them. This is my marshal. Sure, I'll take the free prestige. Off with their heads. My marshal's not going to be happy with me, but that's okay. It's only 2 years. So does that fulfill this? Oh no, I think I have to get to 1,000 prestige. Even with all this yeah. Oh, there we go. Yes, of course I'm going to use it. Okay, so they actually gave me a claim on the duchy title. Which is good. So, yeah, so I can declare war now if I want to. But I would definitely need some mercenaries if I was going to win that war. And if I won, I would become the Duke, but I would not get a claim. Would not actually get this province because I don't have a claim on the county. Unless I were to... Well, that might be an idea. So would he... I would get this, but he would still have this, and he would still have both of his counties. So I would have to fight a de jure war. I would have to fight 2 wars in order to get this county from him. Well, I could do that. So I could do that, and that would leave him with this. I want to get at least one of his counties. Maybe what I'll do is I'll move my chancellor to here. Try and get a claim on that county. If I get the duchy of this and this county, then he'll be left as the Duke of this, and then I can fight a de jure war against him over that. And then he'll have nothing. Sure, charitable's pretty good. Plus 3 more diplomacy. So how much is it to hire mercenaries? So the cheapest ones are 150 and 11 per month. So I probably want at least 300. And there are only 1,600 troops. I really almost need one of these. So I'm going to win. So yeah, I need at least 300 bucks. Alright, so yeah, probably not going to do anything until we get at least one more claim on him. Closing in on 100 piety, though. white stag. Sure, let's try it. I'm at war against him? Oh, I'm apparently allied with Britain. We lost our Spymaster. We lost our Spymaster. So we'll send him back to Constantinople to study technology. Alright. 20% chance. I did not find the white stag. I did not gain depressed or wrath though. I did gain +1 martial for the rest of his life though, which is not useless. Plus the hunting dog, which gives him +1 diplomacy and +1 health. New Pope? Yeah, so the beginning part of this game, this is why I have it on speed 4. The beginning part of this game, not much happens until we get the claims that we need. I mean, we could attack now. We have enough money. We also have enough piety. Request would be denied. Request would be denied. Oh, interesting. We got a female duchess over there. Request would be denied. Request would be denied. This would be denied. What about this? Just out of curiosity. No. Lost our court chaplain. We want to become marshal. That's never going to happen. Let's do our court chaplain. Back to improving religious relations. That pope didn't last very long. King died. Who's the King of England now? Do we still want to marry you? Not so sure we do. Seven. Well, we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying. Hopefully we'll get We'll eventually figure this out. Alright. So now I need to marry your daughter. Well, actually, we didn't have to do that. We could have kept, because she has a weak claim, but that would have been inherited by her child. So we could have married her. Oh, my hunting jog caused me to lose the trait stress. That's excellent. On the other hand, she's a little bit older, so we can start family sooner. So, all right, we got a claim on the Bounty of Pose. We will definitely use that. And now we can start thinking about actually going to war. All right, I'm going to move you here. And so 1840, so that's even. You have 960. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it down to speed 2 for this war. And so how long is it going to take us to win this war? Can we get away with... I think we can get away with just one of these. Alright, so... Declare war on you. We're going to press all claims. And yeah, send. And then we're going to raise our levies. And we're going to hire know that it really matters. We'll hire these guys, the Breton band. Why don't we wait for they start at 0 morale, so we'll wait a bit for their morale to improve. Go to speed 3 while we wait. So we can keep these guys around for about 10 months. So we kind of forgot about his allies. Well, we'll just have to win. All right. We're wounded. That's fine. If we win this fight, we should be okay. What is the terrain like around here? Terrain map mode. Mountains, hills, hills. Sure. You are going this way. here. I want to finish you off completely. Oh, we lost our hunting dog. Alright, we're to 33%. It's probably going to have to take that and that to win the war. We're going to run out of money. We might. Well, we'll see. We'll go back up to speed 4, keep an eye on our finances while we wait for these sieges to progress. We can always borrow money from the Jews, and in fact we might have to do that. Decided to take his army and siege this. Well, I will finish this before he finishes that, for sure. Yeah. So we're going to have to do this, which is fine. Early days. If we win this war, we'll easily be able to pay him back. And the mercenaries should still be reinforcing. If he gets too many more troops there, I won't be able to win in a fight against him anymore. Alright, we won the siege. We gotta go try to attack these guys. Drop the speed down. Hopefully the rough terrain expert trait that I picked up will be enough to secure the victory. And yes, we win. You're going that way, okay. Where were you going? There? Some of you are going there, some of you are going back there. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this. Yeah, since it has less defenders. Let my mercenary band recover a little bit. Go back up to speed 4. We should not need to take too many more. Should not have to take too many more holdings to win. I'd rather gain honest than deceitful. So I lose some more intrigue, but I gain some more diplomacy. My diplomacy is quite high now. Yeah. And another 2,000-man strong army has appeared. Ooh, it's only 26 gold. Move it. I'll move you there. recovered any troops here? I have. So I think what I'm going to have to do is when this falls, should be fairly shortly. Go back down to speed 3 here. Here now. Yes. So I'm going to dismiss that and then re-raise it. Yeah, we got all the extra troops that have been waiting there. So now I'll wait for my morale to improve a bit. '84, '85, '86, '87, '88. When it gets to 95. All right, go. I'm wounded again. As long as we don't get maimed or killed or struck incapable, because we don't have an heir yet. Oh, and that's 100%. Excellent. Oh, nice. So what happened there? Did we get the County of Wind too? We did. I didn't think that we would. Lovely. Alright, so that means that this army is going to stand down. And I'm going to go ahead and move my capital here, since this is a much better province than this one. Okay, we're going to have to let our finances recover. Yeah, that's already a disputed situation. But we've gone from a count to a petty king, and that's where I'm going to end this episode. So, since this is the first episode of the series, if you like it and you want to see more, as we continue our quest, we're going to start off... Oh, we're over our domain size. We'll have to deal with something about that. We're going to start off by trying to consolidate Wales, and then maybe we'll see if we can become King of England, possibly in the next generation. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a terrific day.